You didn't leave all at once. You faded little by little. The laughter changed inside the room. The silence grew between us. I watched you sitting next to me, but somewhere far away. I kept pretending nothing changed while love was slipping away. There was no final warning, no thunder in the sky, just two hearts growing distant under the same light. Quietly unmade, that's how we came apart. No broken doors, no angry words, just distance through the heart. Quietly unmade, you disappeared. I was still reaching for your hand while you were leaving here. Your coffee stayed beside mine, but mornings lost their warmth. You stopped telling me your stories. I stopped asking what was wrong. We became careful strangers, afraid to say too much. I could feel the space between us growing with every touch. I wanted one more conversation, you wanted one more day. We both knew what was coming, but neither knew what to say. Quietly unmade, that's how we came apart. No broken doors, no angry words, just distance through the heart. Quietly unmade, I felt you disappear. I was still reaching for your hand while you were leaving here. If love had made a sound, maybe I would've known. But some endings happen softly until you're standing alone. I won't call it wasted, I won't call it a lie. You were real inside my life, even if you couldn't stay. Quietly unmade, now I can see the truth. We were holding on to memories long after they stopped holding us. Quietly unmade, I'll let the silence breathe. What we were will always matter, but it doesn't have to be me. No final words, no final scene, just a love that quietly became a memory. The ocean folded into gray, like it remembered yesterday. Your footsteps vanished with the tide, but somehow never left my mind. I built a home inside your eyes. Now every window fills with night. The stars all learn to look away the moment you stop saying my name. I'm collecting pieces of promises we dropped. Every little silence still echoes after dark. I keep reaching for a hand that disappeared, but empty air is all that's waiting here. Salt on the skyline, burning through my eyes. You left the horizon, but never left my life. still hangs by the door, like you'll come walking in once more. I tell the mirror I'm alright, it never believes my lies. The moon keeps sleeping on the sea, while every dream abandons me. How can forever end so fast, when every heartbeat wants you back? If healing has a language, I haven't learned it yet. My heart still writes your story in every silhouette. Even all this distance can't teach my soul to leave, because goodbye still sounds like make-believe. Salt on the skyline, burning through my eyes. You left the horizon, but never left my life. Every wave is whispering the words you couldn't say. I'm holding on to oceans that carried you away. Salt on the skyline, I still wear your goodbye. If another lifetime finds another shore, promise you'll remember what we were before. Until then, I'll let the tide decide whether love survives or simply learns to hide. Salt on the skyline, your echo fills the blue. Every fading sunset still reminds me of you. The sea can steal the footprints, the wind can change the sky, but nothing washes clean the tears I never cried. Salt on the skyline, forever in my eyes. The tide keeps coming home, even when you don't. Blue light falls across my bedroom. Your side of the room is bare. I still turn when the floorboards whisper, like I might find you there. We left so many words unfinished between the door and the rain. I thought silence meant we'd find our way back. Now silence knows your name. I don't need another reason, I don't need to know who's wrong. I just wish the quiet didn't feel like somewhere you belong. Sapphire silence, hanging like a midnight sky. I can feel you in the stillness, but I can't ask you why. Sapphire silence, you turned our words to blue. I keep listening for your heartbeat, but the room only answers me with you. I found an old note in my jacket from a night we watched the rain. Your handwriting looked so certain before everything changed. Now every window holds a memory, every street remembers too. I don't know how something so beautiful could disappear from view. Maybe love can leave a shadow even after light is gone. Maybe hearts keep little echoes long after people move on. Sapphire sapphire silence, hanging like a midnight sky. I can feel you in the stillness, but I can't ask you why. Sapphire silence, you turned our words to blue. I keep listening for your heartbeat, but the room only answers me. Between us and let go of your name. Sapphire silence, now the morning finds me changed. I still carry what we were, but I don't have to stay the same. Sapphire silence, your memory can fade with time. I can miss you without reaching for love that isn't mine. The room is quiet, the sky is blue, and I'm learning to live without you. Morning came without warning, silver light on the floor. Your coffee cup was still beside me, but you weren't there anymore. I stood quietly by the window, watching strangers cross the street. Everything looked ordinary, nothing felt the same to me. I thought the night would hide the ending, I thought sleep would make it small, but daylight has a way of showing everything we couldn't call. Silver ash morning, falling through the room. I woke up with your goodbye and nowhere left to move. Silver ash morning, all the colors turn to gray. I still hear the words we swallow from the night you walked away. There's a message I never opened, it's still glowing on my phone. 3 words I was scared to read, because I knew I'd be alone. I don't hate the way you left me, I don't wish we never met. Some love can be completely real and still become regret. I stopped asking for an answer, I stopped waiting by the door. Sometimes healing isn't knowing why somebody couldn't stay anymore. Silver ash morning, falling through the room. I woke up with your goodbye and nowhere left to move. Silver ash morning, all the colors turn to gray. I still hear the words we swallow from the night you walked away. If I could return to that morning, I'd hold the silence for a while. I wouldn't ask you to stay forever, I'd just remember your smile. And I let the daylight find me without chasing what is gone. Some hearts don't heal by forgetting, they heal by carrying on. Silver ash morning, now the light is changing too. The room still holds the memory, but it doesn't feel like you. Silver ash morning, I can finally face the day. What we lost will always matter, but it doesn't have to stay. The ash settles, the morning opens, and I keep moving. The room is quiet before dawn. Your memory walks through the hall. I hear the floorboards underneath me, like you never left at all. I turn toward the empty pillow before I remember why. Some mornings start with losing you. Before I open my eyes, I thought my heart was getting better. I thought the years had softened everything, but dreams have their own way of keeping what waking life can't bring. Sleeping through the echo, hearing pieces of you in my dreams. I wake up reaching for yesterday, but yesterday doesn't reach for me. Sleeping through the echo, your voice is softer every night. I keep holding on to memories that disappear with morning light. I found your old letter yesterday inside a book we used to share. The words are faded at the edges, but your handwriting was still there. I read it once and closed the pages. I didn't need to read again. Some words don't lose their meaning, they just learn to hurt less. Maybe love doesn't leave completely. Maybe it becomes a quieter thing, a song beneath the silence, a shadow underneath everything. Sleeping through the echo, hearing pieces of you in my dreams. I wake up reaching for yesterday, but yesterday doesn't reach for me. Sleeping through the echo, your voice is softer every night. I keep holding on to memories that disappear with morning light. If I could meet you in a dream tonight, I wouldn't ask you to stay. I'd simply sit beside you and let the silence have its say. Because I don't need forever to know that what we had was real. Some love becomes a memory and still takes time to heal. Sleeping through the echo, now I'm learning not to chase the past. I can hear you without breaking. I can love you and let you pass. Sleeping through the echo, morning doesn't feel so cruel. Your memory can't stay behind me without deciding what I do. without reaching. You came dressed in golden silence, with a shadow in your eyes. I thought I found something sacred, I didn't see the disguise. You held me underneath the streetlight, like the world had disappeared. But every promise sounded distant when I listened close enough to hear. I wanted to believe you, so I ignored the signs. Sometimes the heart sees heaven where the truth is drawn a line. Smoke beneath the halo, I couldn't see what you were hiding. You looked like something holy, while my heart was slowly breaking. Smoke beneath the halo, you left before the morning knew. I thought I was holding heaven, but I was only holding you. Your goodbye came without thunder, just a quiet closing door. I stood there with all our memories and nothing worth fighting for. Now every silver photograph feels colder than before. I still remember how you loved me, I just don't know what it was for. I don't hate you for the ending, I don't blame myself tonight. I love the version that you showed me, even if it wasn't right. Smoke beneath the halo, I couldn't see what you were hiding. You looked like something holy, while my heart was slowly breaking. Smoke beneath the halo, you left before the morning knew. I thought I was holding heaven, but I was only holding you. Maybe love can wear a beautiful face and still leave an empty room. Maybe some hearts look like sunrise while they're carrying the moon. I won't chase another answer, I won't ask the past to stay. I'll let the smoke disappear and let the halo fade away. Smoke beneath the halo, now I finally see it clearly. You were never heaven, you were simply someone near me. Smoke beneath the halo, I can breathe without you now. The light I thought you gave me was already mine somehow. The smoke is fading, the halo is gone, and I'm still here. Your message sits beneath my screen, a little light I shouldn't see. I almost typed the words we know, then watched the cursor come and go. We used to talk until the dawn, now every conversation's gone. Two voices trapped behind the glass, too afraid to ask what happened last. I feel you somewhere in the distance, like a station fading out. Every word becomes a whisper, every silence gets too loud. I don't know when we disappeared, from something real to something feared. The static between souls, where all our love used to go. I can hear you through the silence, but I can't reach you anymore. We're so close, but worlds apart, two strangers wearing the same heart. If I could break through all this distance, maybe we remember who we are. There's static between souls, and I don't know how to let you go. Your picture changed, but not your eyes. I recognize the old disguise, that little smile you used to wear. When you were happy, I was there. Now every room feels out of tune, like summer underneath the moon. I keep expecting you to call, then remember you don't call at all. Maybe love can lose its language, maybe time can change the sound. Maybe two people can be standing and still never come back around. I keep listening for a signal, but the silence answers first. The static between souls, where all our love used to go. I can hear you through the silence, but I can't reach you anymore. We're so close, but worlds apart, two strangers wearing the same heart. If I could break through all this distance, maybe we remember who we are. There's static between souls, and I don't know how to let you go. If you hear this in the quiet, if my name crosses your mind, don't remember how we ended, remember how we tried. There was something in your laughter that made every room feel warm. Now I'm standing in the after of the love we couldn't hold. Maybe somewhere past the silence will become a memory, but tonight you're still the person my heart is trying to reach. The static between souls, and it's louder than before. I can feel you through the silence, but you're not mine anymore. We're so close, but worlds apart, still carrying the same old scars. I keep reaching through the distance for the place where we once were. There's static between souls, a signal I can never hold. There's static between souls, and I'm finally letting go. The screen goes dark, the room stays still, no message comes, but I remember you. There was a photograph tucked underneath my bed, two shadows in October. Before the words were said, the trees were losing color, the evening smelled like rain. You kissed my forehead softly, and I believed we'd stay. We didn't know that night would become a memory. You were already leaving while you were next to me. The autumn we buried still breathes beneath the leaves. I thought the years would hide it, but it keeps finding me. The autumn we buried still lives inside the cold. I lost you with the season, but never lost what we were. I passed the little corner where we waited for the train. The bench is still beneath the trees, but nothing feels the same. I don't replay it goodbye, I don't rewrite the past. I only miss the version of us that couldn't last. Some love becomes a question, some answers come too late. I stopped asking why you left and started accepting change. The autumn we buried still breathes beneath the leaves. I thought the years would hide it, but it keeps finding me. The autumn we buried still lives inside the cold. I lost you with the season, but never lost what we were. If I could meet you once again beneath that amber sky, I wouldn't ask for yesterday or wonder why goodbye. I'd simply say you matter, then let the moment end. Some beautiful chapters were never meant to stay. The autumn we buried can rest beneath the rain. I can love what we once were without calling you again. The autumn we buried will always have its place. Not every love stays with us, some simply shape our hearts. The leaves are gone, the road is quiet, and I still remember. The hallway echoes with your shoes, like every step still waits for you. The curtains move without the breeze, as if your shadow never leaves. I fold the silence into prayer, pretending you're still somewhere near. The clock keeps counting empty hours, while memories bloom like dying flowers. I keep telling my reflection this won't always hurt, but every sunrise finds another piece of you hidden underneath my skin. The gravity of leaving still pulls me underneath every goodbye. Life somewhere in my breathing, I let you go, but you never left my soul. Now Your favorite song still fills my room. It ends too soon, like loving you. The coffee grows cold beside the bed, just like the words we never said. I learned that lonely has a face. It wears your smile, it knows my name. The stars keep riding across the blue, stories that all begin with you. How do I outrun someone living in my mind? Every road I choose leads me back one more time. The gravity of leaving still pulls me underneath every goodbye. Life somewhere in my breathing. I let you go, but you never left my soul. Now every sky feels heavier to hold. The gravity of leaving never lets me fall alone. Maybe love was never meant to disappear. Maybe hearts keep every version of the years. If I could lose every photograph, I'd still remember the way you looked at me. The gravity of leaving still owns every night. Every fading constellation still carries your light. The world keeps turning like nothing has changed, but every piece of me still whispers your name. The gravity of leaving is loving you when you're already gone. Some hearts never break once they break every morning. There was a room filled with sunlight where your laughter used to stay. Now the walls are only shadows and the gold has turned to gray. I kept one photograph beside me from the summer we were young. I can still remember everything before the ending came. We didn't know the final moment would arrive without a sound. I was holding on to yesterday while you were turning around. The last color of us is fading from the walls. I keep reaching for the feeling, but I can't reach it at all. The last color of us still burns beneath my eyes. We were beautiful together before the light said goodbye. remember what we had. Without waiting at the door, the last color of us can disappear tonight. What we were will always matter, even after losing its light. The picture fades, the room grows quiet, and I let the colors go. We had a key but not a doorway, had a future with no name. You kept your heart behind a curtain, I kept pretending it would change. We knew the streets around each other, knew the places we would go. But every time I reached for something, you were already letting go. I kept calling it patience, you were calling it enough. I kept building little bridges, you kept taking yours apart. Maybe we were never broken, maybe we were never whole. Maybe some love lives forever in the space between the two. We were the shape of almost, close enough to feel like home, close enough to hold my heartbeat, never close enough to stay. We were the shape of almost, something beautiful and gone. I could see the light before us, but I could never make it real. You were almost mine, and I was almost yours. There were evenings full of laughter, there were mornings full of doubt. Every time I thought we found it, something pulled the feeling out. I remember how you looked at me when you thought I wasn't there, like you wanted to say something but were too afraid to care. I kept calling it forever, you kept calling it tonight. I was searching for a future, you were living for goodbye. Maybe we were just two people trying hard to make it fit. Sometimes love can feel so perfect and still never become it. We were the shape of almost, close enough to feel like home, close enough to hold my heartbeat, never close enough to stay. We were the shape of almost, something beautiful and gone. I could see the light before us, but I could never make it real. You were almost mine, and I was almost yours. I don't regret the nights we had, I don't regret your name. Some memories can be beautiful even when they end in pain. And if I ever see you somewhere years from now beneath the rain, I won't ask you what we could have been, I'll just smile and let it stay that way. We were the shape of almost, a love that never found its home, close enough to change my heartbeat, far enough to leave me cold. We were the shape of almost, and maybe that's what hurts the most. Not that we couldn't love forever, but that we came so close. You were almost mine, I was almost yours, and almost was all we were. No blame, no promises, just the shape of what we almost became. The ocean kept your secrets long after you were gone. I watched the waves turn silver while the night kept moving on. Your voice was in the distance, like a song beneath the rain. I thought the sea could wash you out, but it only brought you back again. I told myself the water would carry this away, but every tide remembers everything we couldn't say. Velvet tides keep pulling me back to you. I let you disappear, but the waves refuse to. Velvet tides moving underneath the moon. I thought I learned to let you go, but I still come back to you. I left your photograph inside an old wooden drawer. I never look at it anymore, but I know exactly where it is. Some nights I hear the shoreline even when the windows close, and every wave sounds like a promise that neither of us could hold. Maybe love is like the ocean, it changes but remains. Maybe some hearts keep returning to the places that still ache. Velvet tides keep pulling me back to you. I let you disappear, but the waves refuse to. Velvet tides moving underneath the moon. I thought I learned to let you go, but I still come back to you. If I could stand beside you one more time beneath the stars, I wouldn't ask for forever, I'd just remember who we are. Then I'd let the water take us to two different shores, 'cause loving you was beautiful, even when it wasn't ours. Velvet tides don't carry me back tonight. I'm finally learning that goodbye doesn't erase the light. Velvet tides keep moving beneath the moon. I let your memory drift away, like a song that left too soon. The ocean keeps moving, so will I. The lights come on, the lights go out. The streetlights used to know our names, they watched us walking home. Now every corner looks unfamiliar since I learned to walk alone. Your voice still lives inside my memory, but I can't remember the sound. I search for pieces of our yesterday in every empty town. I thought the city would remember everything we used to be, but the lights keep turning on like they never noticed me. Where the lights forgot us, where the night forgot your name. I keep walking through the places, but they don't feel the same. Where the lights forgot us, I still look for you somehow. We were once the brightest thing. past the cafe where we waited when the rain refused to stop. You laughed beneath the broken awning, and I never wanted time to move. Now the windows glow without us. Strangers sit where we once stayed. Funny how a place can hold a memory and still forget the face. Maybe nothing lasts forever. Maybe that's what makes it real. I keep carrying the moments because they're all I get to feel. Where the lights forgot us, where the night forgot your name. I keep walking through the places, but they don't feel the same. Where the lights forgot us, I still look for you somehow. We were once the brightest thing, and we're only shadows now. If I could meet you in another city, under another sky, I wouldn't ask you to remember. I wouldn't ask you why. I'd simply say I love you before the words became too late, and let the traffic carry me somewhere past our old mistakes. Where the lights forgot us, morning finally finds my face. I still carry what we were, but I don't have to stay where the lights forgot us. I can walk into the dawn. Baby, losing you was never proof that I was wrong. We were once the brightest thing. Now I know I can move on. The lights come on, the lights go out, and I keep walking. You found me somewhere after midnight when I didn't wanna feel. You smiled like you had nowhere else and somehow made the moment real. We talked beneath the porch light till the city disappeared. I thought your hands were an answer to the loneliness I carried for years. You never promised forever, I just heard it in your eyes. I turned a little moment into something I could call mine. Wildflower alibi. You grew and my heart couldn't hide. I called your touch a reason. You called it just a season. Wildflower alibi. You were beautiful, then you said goodbye. Now every empty field I pass reminds me of something that couldn't last. I found your note inside my jacket from the night we watched the rain. Just 3 words beneath the date, and somehow they still say your name. I don't know when it changed us. Maybe neither one was wrong. Maybe some hearts meet like flowers, only blooming for so long. I wanted you to stay forever. You only promised one more night. I mistook your temporary warmth for something built to survive. Wildflower alibi. You grew and my heart couldn't hide. I called your touch a reason. You called it just a season. Wildflower alibi. You were beautiful, then you said goodbye. Now every empty field I pass reminds me of something that couldn't 'cause they bloom and fade away. Wildflower alibi, you left your color in my life. I don't need another reason to forgive the changing seasons. Wildflower alibi, I finally understand goodbye. You were never mine to keep, you were just a beautiful thing I was lucky enough to meet. The field is empty now, but somewhere beneath the silence, something still blooms. Morning finds me by the window, watching shadows cross the floor. There's a plant you left beside me, still reaching toward the door. I never learned to move it, I never learned to let it die. Funny how the smallest things can keep somebody alive. I thought time would make it distant, like a photograph in rain. But every season brings a color that reminds me of your name. Your shadow in bloom, still growing where you left me. I thought the flowers would forget, but they remember everything. Your shadow in bloom, quiet underneath the blue. Every petal turns toward the light, and somehow turns me back to you. I changed the curtains in the bedroom, moved the chair away from the wall. But some memories don't need a place, they live inside it all. I hear your laughter in the kitchen when the afternoon turns gold. And for 1 second I'm 17, before the world grows cold. Maybe love doesn't disappear, it changes shape with time. Maybe some hearts keep a garden for the people left behind. Your shadow in bloom, still growing where you left me. I thought the flowers would forget, but they remember everything. Your shadow in bloom, quiet underneath the blue. Every petal turns toward the light, and somehow turns me back to you. If I could see you one more time, I wouldn't ask you to return. I'd tell you that the love we had was something worth the hurt. Then I walk back through my doorway and leave the past outside. Some flowers grow from broken places and still become alive. Your shadow in bloom doesn't hurt me like before. I can see the beauty now with